Welcome back. Better than a Let's Play, episode 9. I'm Enigmius, and today we're building again. This time in the nether. You can see we've got the chunk lines out. That can only mean one thing. We're building another tower. This was not planned. This was not something that I had in mind. I came to the nether in search of nether quartz. The never-ending search for nether quartz. And the pigmen were being rude, the ghasts were being rude, they're just leaving fires all over the place, which is actually potentially very dangerous with the power suit because it can expedite the overheating of the power suit, and the only way for me to get the temperature on the suit to drop when it decides it wants to overheat is to leave the nether, go back to the overworld, stick my head into something liquid, and usually the heat goes down. I've already died once because I couldn't get out of the nether fast enough when the suit decided it wanted to overheat. So I decided one of the best ways to deal with that is to wall off the ghasts. Also, the pigmen, we all know how the pigmen are. They just kind of hang around in the way. So if, for example, you're running around trying to put out fires so that you can work safely without your suit overheating and you accidentally bap one over the head, he gets mad, all of his friends get mad, it's just a gang beating. So you can see we're not stopping at that one floor. This is actually underneath where the portal is, and that was me dropping gravel down into the lava lake that you'll see here in a little while to block off the lava so that I can work in peace without having to, constantly leave because oops, I'm in the lava, oops, I'm in the lava, now my suit's overheating, oops, I'm in the lava. So gravel was a big help here, dropping it down, and also you'll see in a little while here an endothermic pump. So using the gravel to basically block off the area where I want to build, and then using an endothermic pump to clean out that area of lava without having to worry too much about cleaning out this entire lava lake that's now coming into view. I didn't really want that. I did get a little bit of a leak from the pump. It actually started pumping out lava outside the boundaries marked by the gravel, but still it's better than trying to clean out a lava lake with a bucket. That's just, I don't think anybody would find that fun. It's not that deep. It's only 4 or 5 blocks deep, which I was a little bit surprised by because normally I see something this size and I think, okay, that's going to be kind of like the lakes that I've got just outside the tower in the overworld. Those things can get pretty deep, but this only 4 or 5 blocks. So you can see this is the endothermic pump doing its job. Now I could have showed you a time lapse building another tower, but I kind of figured if I did that, I would be facing a mutiny. So I just kind of built and got things situated the way that I kind of want them, and then I figured I'd give you a live tour of what's going on, and also I can show you my sorting system. Oh my goodness, I hope you're excited. And so here we are in the nether. There's guests outside, they're freaking out. There's angry pigmen outside. I just butchered a couple of their cousins. All kinds of craziness. I'm sure we're going to hear a spider pretty soon here. It's pretty much inevitable. This is the interior of the Great Purple Tower. It's quite a drop all the way down. There's not a whole lot going on here. And like I said, I didn't build this because I foresaw a need for a lot of storage space in the nether. I did it because I was gathering stuff for my storage system, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to start digging, and then I'm going to start building, and then one thing led to another. Before I knew it, we had another tower. Not necessarily a bad thing. Like I say, ghasts shooting fireballs at me when I'm trying to do stuff, it's an irritant. It's one of those things, you know, it's not really a threat. If you're playing properly, you're not near an edge when ghasts are barfing fireballs all over you. It's just an irritant. I said I can do without irritants in the nether, so let's get rid of these bastards. All of those stupid little nether silverfish that they never really drop anything worthwhile. I think one of them dropped a loot bag once, and that's been it. They're just designed to bug you, literally, and that's all they do. So we have an opportunity to control that to some extent here. You can see I've got half of the first floor in with the nether brick and I'll probably do all of the floors in here with the nether brick. And we might as well start at the top. Like I say, there's not a lot to show you due to the empty nature of the tower, but I might as well do a job of it now, and then we can come back later and do a time-lapse when I do stuff with the lava below, which we'll talk about a little bit when we get down there. So this is obviously the ceiling. This is bedrock. The ceiling of the nether. I cleaned out anything that wasn't tainted soil and put in tainted soil, so it's somewhat uniform. I thought about actually covering up this whole layer so you couldn't see the bedrock, but then I realized looking up and seeing, hey, that's bedrock, is like a pretty obvious visual reminder that that's as high as the nether goes, whereas if we just had a solid color roof, there might be that question, hey, how much higher could that tower go? It's just a thing. It's a minor detail. Realistically speaking, you're not going to see me doing videos looking up at the ceiling of the nether tower all that often. So we've got a little bit more tainted soil to clean out on this layer, and then there's, you know, a few blocks worth. I think it's about a few blocks thick. And then we come down here and we've got another rack layer, which actually mines very, very quickly with a speed 5 Dartcraft pickaxe. So it's not difficult to get rid of this. It's just once you get to that point where the next block that you destroy has a chance of dropping you 70 or 80 blocks, that's when we start to think, okay, we have to maybe pay attention to this a little bit. So that's what I'll be doing, is clearing this out when I feel like paying attention so that I don't have to keep flying up and down. You can see my heat, just for doing stupid little things, my heat starts to increase, and that's with all of the cooling options except for the bucket of water and all heat sinks with maxed thickness. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I've actually killed myself in the process of building this tower. I don't even remember what I was doing, but suddenly I started to overheat, and I couldn't get out of the nether to a water supply to cool off fast enough. Very tragic, very sad. So this is the upper level that will exist simply to demonstrate that we made it all the way to the ceiling of the nether, and probably nothing more ever. So we can come down here. There's the portal layer. We keep going down, speed it up a little bit, and down. All this gravel here is the gravel that I put down, you saw in the time lapse, to block off the lava so that I could pump out the lava just in this one chunk and not have to worry about it, you know, trying to clean out the whole nether. It did leak a little bit. The pump kind of went outside the boundaries that I was expecting it to work with, and got a little bit more than I was anticipating. But the main thing is, we got rid of the lava that was in here. We actually got it in the tank in the overworld now, and we're going to be doing something with this layer, with the lava there, with glass and different shapes punched into the walls so that you can see the lava in its natural habitat. It'll provide lighting for this lower section of the tower, and it'll be a little bit more interesting than just having the lava walled off. So that'll be really good candidate for a time-lapse video, probably the next video or the video after, depending on what we end up doing with our storage system. How many videos now? 4 since I said that's what we were working on. I just get sidetracked because I'm having fun. And you can see we've got, this is a naturally existing layer of tainted soil that I flattened off. I already started clearing it out, so it didn't exist in this naturally flat state. But then we come down here and we're at bedrock. Just like that. So we've got, I think it's 3 blocks deep. We can find out easy enough. 1, 2, yeah, 3 blocks deep. Remaining to clear that out, and then a little bit of netherrack and the tainted soil up top, and then this whole thing will be excavated ceiling to floor. And then we can do the glass stuff here and all the way around. And then we'll have a place when we come to the nether, depending on what it is what we want to be doing. We have a safe entrance. We don't have to worry about bad guys giving us a hard time. And if we ever do decide to do stuff in the nether, we got plenty of room to expand into it. But we'll have to see about that. And 430 degrees in my suit. See, that's what I don't necessarily understand. Is I start flying and the heat starts going down, but for some reason, whenever I'm not looking at it, it sneaks up on me. It's just crazy that way. I think it's specifically designed to do that. When you're doing the least useful things is when the heat starts going up and you're not expecting it, when it starts to roast you alive. That's the thing. So let's go look out in the overworld a little bit. There's some things worth showing out there. And this won't take long either. Get out of here. So, it's nice to have this here when I'm coming back from the nether. Quite often I just stick my face into my little personal waterfall and let it drop the heat a little bit quicker than if I were standing around in the open air. It's kind of fun. So, I'll show you. I don't know why it does this. I think it's because I have a spot loader somewhere. Actually, no, I don't. Bottom line, I don't know why it does this. See all these pipes, the liquiducts that are split up like this? Some have water, some are just floating squares. Nothing I can do about it except log out and log back in, and it will assemble itself properly. You can see here it's working just fine, but over there it just goes to shit. So we'll show you the source of the water. Actually now, while it's daytime, let's get out there now so I don't have to worry about creepers and crap being jerks. I've got some forest trees growing out here. No particular reason. I don't use a lot of forest wood. I'm not using it to make liquid force to power engines or anything like that. But I had saplings, so I said, hey, I'll plant those saplings. So this sort of thing here that you see growing off the side of the tower, I was in the process of doing a time lapse showing the construction of this thing, and I was literally very, very near completing it. I was actually putting the final details on the tank. I had planned to put microblocks on the steel tank there, and the game crashed to desktop, which destroys the file that was recording. So, I don't know exactly how to put it. There's a file containing the video information that if the game crashes before you properly close that file by stopping the recording, the file is useless. Maybe that was too technical. Whatever. It's a thing. I had to accept the fact that the recording of the building of this little arm with the tank on the end was destroyed. We were all very sad. But you can see it's following the same microblock pattern as the corners, which I haven't finished on this side, only they're vertical this time, so it's wrapping around the top edge and the bottom edge like that. I'm thinking that I'll probably fill in these holes there. I left them because I wanted to see how it would look with the water pipe visible, but it makes it look just off, I think, with the holes there. And then this is a steel tank and 4 aqueous accumulators stuck into the water, accumulating water. Because that's what aqueous accumulators do. And this is what I was talking about previously when I mentioned building things that serve a purpose and something very, very simple task that doesn't need a lot, but still just having fun with the building anyways. For the purpose of getting water into a tank for storage for later use, whether you need it or not, it's never necessary to run it outside into a water source, a naturally occurring water source. You can just make an infinite water source that's 1 block deep and like 2x2 or 3x3, whatever you want. 3x3 usually works for any aqueous accumulator. And that's all you need, and you'll have infinite water. But I like this idea better because it kind of gives a sense of purpose to whatever is going on here. It looks like it's purpose-built. We have this gantry coming out, holding the tank that's receiving the water, and then a pipe sending it into wherever. Speaking of wherever, let's go look. It's exciting. Close the door. Climb up. You may have seen a applied energistics thing on the wall there. You did, but we're not even looking at that. So pretend for a moment that these liquiducts are actually connected the way they're supposed to be. They would be directing water into this igneous extruder that makes smooth stone just all the time. Smooth stone. It's not fast. It's still working, you can see, despite the fact that apparently the pipe is broken into a million pieces. But it makes smooth stone, so if I need smooth stone for building, I have it. I've got this one here that is just making cobblestone. Believe it or not, yes, I am actually producing cobblestone because I'm not running a quarry right now. I've run the quarry just to excavate for the towers, and that's it. I'm not actually running it for resources, which just blows my mind. So, and of course with the deep storage units, I'm not worried about running out of space. It's not like I'm putting them in a gold chest where all this effort to even set this up would be kind of undermined as soon as the chest filled up. We're good to go for probably the lifespan of this world. I've got a deep storage unit for netherrack, which is just fortuitous that I happen to have an inventory full of it right now. And this will be what's supplying the netherrack to the magma crucibles to make lava, to run engines and all that other stuff until I move on to another source of energy. And then I have this deep storage unit here that was supposed to be set up with, yeah, oak wood. So if I do decide to get back into the boilers, I've already got a deep storage unit set up. I can do that. I'm not going to be worrying about Darkcraft squeezing the logs to make the liquid stuff to put into the engines and blah blah with milk. It's just, sometimes it's a bit much. I feel as though it's a stretch. I don't mind the idea of melting something down into magma and using it for energy in an infinite loop, where as long as you have netherrack, you have energy. That doesn't really bother me so much as saying, squeeze the magic juice out of this tree and then put it in an engine with some milk and it will do all this stuff that's awesome. I can't do it. And that's it, man. I mean, basically, we've got the ME cables. We're starting to put things into place. We got like controllers and stuff. And then, like I say, down here, am I going to miss it? No, I made it. We've got this guy that's, you know, the ME terminal. None of it's hooked up to power. I haven't got that far yet. I'm still planning. I'm still trying to get an idea of exactly what I want to set up before I put everything in motion, because it's one of those things, because I haven't used it before, I want to make sure that I've got dedicated troubleshooting time, which is different from dedicated building and excavating a stupid tower in the nether time, because that doesn't require a whole lot of thought. That's just something I can do whenever. But for actually setting up the system, I want to make sure that whenever I get it up and running, that I've got the time and the dedication to sit there and diagnose any problems that I incur as a result of mistakes that I made in the process of setting it up. So that's where we're at. We got a tower in the nether that's almost done. We're going to have some fun with that. We're probably going to have some nether adventures, very lighthearted nether fun, checking out there's trees and there's mushrooms and there's all kinds of crap growing in the nether. Might as well goof around with it for a while until we say, yeah, that was neat, and then we'll, you know, whatever. But there's also a lot of stuff that I've got planned for the overworld that we'll be looking into as well, one of which will eventually be a fully featured storage system. So please, by all means, leave your comments and feedback in the designated spot below the video. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, you can do that, and you'll be notified when I add the next video. That's why you subscribe. It's not because it makes me feel happy, it's because it helps you a little bit. Another alternative, you can follow me on the Twitters at Enigmius1, and I'll give you an update when I add a new video there as well. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.